Okay, so today I will be talking about the benefits of organic farming. We'll, we'll go into how farming helps our environment more than it helps us internally, because we already know the benefits of organic eating. But with organic farming, I wanted to talk about the issue of how it affects how conventional farming has affected our environment, and how it has um, created an issue, specifically climate change, and how we can fix that problem. So I would first like to start off with this fact of, did you know that planting organic food uses 45% less energy than conventional farming? So with organic farming, we actually are using better soil, we're using better methods, and we're also using less energy, which is very beneficial for us. And it's also better for our environment. I think that this is a very relevant issue, and I think that this is a very pressing issue because we all know of, and we all can see the effects of climate change today, like specifically with the hotter days that we've been seeing. We have had a couple of record-breaking days where we've had a couple of record-breaking hot days, and I think that these issues could be sequestered by using organic farming. I think that I am um, pretty credible. Because I'm pretty versed on the topic. I talk about environmental racism in some of my sociological research. So I think that I know a little bit about the topic, and doing extensive research for this project has made me a little bit more of an expert than I already was. Um, so the negative effects of climate change are imminent, and all measures should be employed to fix the issue. So, wanted to start off by talking about a couple of statistics. So first, I would like to say that this process, like I said, is a very natural process, and it's way more natural than conventional farming. With conventional farming, we use synthetic fertilizers, which is very, very bad for the environment and very, very bad for our food. With synthetic farming, we synthetic fertilizers, carbon emissions go like a much more higher than it would be if we use organic farming. Specifically, with sorry, with conventional farming, we are nitrogen oxide is emitted at a higher rate than it is with organic farming. Specifically with conventional farming or convenient farming, the nitrous oxide is emitted to the air 700 to 800% more than it will be with organic farming. Conventional farming is very dangerous. Um, First, it erodes our soil, we lose biodiversity, and it also increases water pollution, which has a plethora of negative health effects for our population. And also, our, also like convenient farming, we we are spending a lot more money with convenient farming than we do with organic farming. Um, with organic farming, we usually use natural soil, natural manure, which actually helps with carbon emission with those type of uh, agricultural tools. We are able to one reduce the effects of carbon emission, and with that, we don't have to pay for future initiatives to fix carbon emission. And then also um, natural agricultural tools are obviously more are cheaper than manufactured or man-made uh, carbon carbon emitting fertilizers. So I would like to talk about a solution. Yeah. So with the solution, I thought that I think that the obvious plan of action is to eliminate fossil fuels, of fossil fuel based fertilizers. Um, and I think that one that to do this, we need to base this off of science. And one of the studies that I looked at that actually did an experiment with natural organic farming found that with organic farming we released 40% less carbon emissions, and then we also fostered 30% increase in biodiversity. So my plan of action is I plan to do three different things, which is implement a Eden garden. An Eden garden is a vertical garden where um, people will come in and use natural fertilizers and natural tools to plant produce, which would one reduce cost, and then two it would um, move us from using uh, soil and using the natural soil and land use and actually in which which eventually hmm, sorry. Yeah, so with this you wouldn't be using soil, which would mean that carbon emissions would actually be reduced. So sorry about that. Um, Also, I would put a ban on synthetic farming. Banning the fertilizers altogether would obviously create a more healthy and a more cost-effective agricultural process. And then I will also reduce the amount of peat. Peat is something called a carbon sink, and carbon sinks are um, an, are a process that actually increases the amount of carbon going into the air. So with reducing that would effectively reduce the amount of greenhouse gases in our air. So this seems very persuasive. Okay, so I think that it is time for all of us to take action and go out there and elect politicians who want to transform agricultural practices so that we can have less carbon in our air, or less greenhouse gases, less of all of the greenhouse gases in our air. I think that we should change our practice, because it seems that like organic farming has a ton of benefits. It and we can move away from the the normal harmful way that is affecting our neighborhoods, that's increasing inequality, that is and that is destroying our plants as well as our animals.